enjoying the Colorado air, atmosphere, and hope you drink a lot of water.
Yeah. So far, we just, we get rushed in. We get rushed into these places, and then we go to the hotel, and then we go to the venue, and then we go back to the hotel. So a lot of times we don't get to see these beautiful cities that we get to come to. So it's kind of a bummer about it. But I've been here before, and it is beautiful here.
I've ridden through here too. Actually, on my way to Sturgis, I'd go through Utah and come through here and up to South Dakota. And I love it here, man.
It's really pretty. It's really pretty.
What do you ride?
Harleys, man, all kind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
all kind.
2 wheels. That's it. Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What's the current iron you're riding right now?
I have a Street Glide, I have a Heritage, and I have a Dyna.
Ooh,
Yeah,
good calls.
yeah, that's right.
You gonna swing by any of the Harley Davidsons around here to check them out?
It's funny because I was here yesterday and I rode out. A couple of us went to some bar club thing, and I went right by the Harley. Of course, it was closed because it was late, and I was like, I may have to swing by over there, and see what they got. Yeah,
It's a real nice big one over here. Get a lot of great stuff.
That's probably the one I saw.
Yeah, right across the other side of the freeway. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty close. Yeah.
You don't want to stay out of there. You might get
I
in
know,
trouble,
it's true.
man. You might go home with a fourth pint.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mr. Pileggi. So
Pileggi.
on the X-Files, you alongside yourself, Gillian Anderson, and David Duchovny were the only three to appear on all the different incarnations. How was that returning to the show after?
Like
all those
riding a
years?
bike. It was just, first scene was with David. We walked through the door into his old office, and he started throwing a tantrum, and I put him down, and that's the way it works. It felt right. It felt natural, and it was a lot of fun. And somebody came in after that first take, and they said Chris is just sitting out by the monitor, smiling ear to ear. And I said, well, what? He goes, he said, that's it. That's it's still there. So it was still there with David and Gillian, and I mean they've got. I was at another venue recently, and somebody asked the question, what made the show so work so well and so popular, and they couldn't answer the question because the answer is their ridiculous chemistry and the stories that Chris told. That's what made the show what it was. And they were both just so phenomenal, and working together, the two of them was nuts. So that's what it was.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that question right there, since it's been pretty much a good little gap between the original and this new one's coming in, you were revisiting your role. Was there any challenges or anything that changed because of just a long time gap?
Actually, yeah. The first day that I walked onto the set, I had this beard. That was the biggest challenge. Actually, it wasn't a challenge at all. But I had this because I wanted to keep it.
Right.
I had pretty much said I'm not shaving it, and so I knew that. And I had put some feelers out, seeing how Chris felt about that. And I walked on set. Chris looked at me and he goes, "You look great." So that was big. But other than that, it was. I didn't have a whole lot to do in the 6 episodes, but it was fun to walk right back into it and just start doing it again. And it just, like I say, we kind of just fell right back into it. And we're hoping that we get to fall back into it again. So,
That'd be awesome.
'cause I know that everybody wants to do it.
Okay then.
Well,
Mr. Beach, off of your career, a lot of people, they talk about your breakout was Waiting to Exhale, and along with ER is kind of a great beginning springboard into so many different shows, popular reoccurrences, Third Watch, ER. I'd like to go back a bit to one of my favorite movies, Lean on Me. Just about your experience on that set. Like '89 was a big year for film, and going alongside Freeman, that was a huge year for him. Was Driving Miss Daisy, Glory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was his first starring role, and he wasn't. I think we shot it in '88. I think, and we had no idea, what was going to happen with it because there were no stars in the film, and Morgan was in his 50s or around 50 at the time, so it was to have a movie star, a guy who in movie business is kind of like, oh, he plays the father now, but we knew it was kind of strong when we were shooting it because it was each scene was so raw, each scene was so something that you could really relate to, and one of the great memories I have of that, among a few, but was when I threw the desk on him. That wasn't written, and the desk was really heavy. And John Alverson said, what can we do to really put a punch on this scene? And I was like, well, why don't I just throw this desk at Morgan? And he was like, can you lift it? It was so big, we had to actually take out some of the drawers in the front because we didn't want Morgan to get his crushed. Yeah, his feet. And I told him, I said, I don't know, because the first time we did it was on camera. And I said, so please, Morgan, watch out because I don't know how far it will go.
Yeah.
And they kind of wanted to play that first moment on camera as opposed to having to rehearse to see what would happen. And I had so much adrenaline because it was probably 88. I was out of college, maybe 3 years, so it was still kind of early for me. And it was really exciting, and I really had a great time shooting that scene. And I had grown up with Morgan on the electric company, so it was pretty cool for me. And it was we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on that show.
Was that the?
No, he stepped back. When that desk went up, it shocked everybody. And Morgan jumped back, and so that first reaction is right there on film. So it was what you did the first time, that's what made the cut for the film? On the wide shot.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we only did it maybe one time after that on the wide. But back then we were kind of shooting one camera at a time, as opposed to today. If I just did a Peter Berg film, and that guy shoots like 5-6 cameras at the same time, which just didn't happen back then. They never did that.
Peter Berg.
Yeah.
That's familiar.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Well, actually, I got a question for you about one of your old roles, and my mom would want me to say this because one of our favorite movies together was Soul Food.
Right, okay.
One of the questions I always wondered, the piano scene.
Yeah.
Did you play that? Like, do you actually know the sheet music for Tupac's "Ain't Mad at You," or was that just something that was just edited in later?
Okay, let me try to. Does it look like I know what the hell I'm doing?
That's great.
Bro,
I believe it.
I was terrible. They had a guy working with me just to see what my upper body would be like.
Right.
Because I don't know shit about music, man. And I was like Kenny, Babyface, wanted to really see if they could cheat and use me. And I was like, Kenny, don't do that to me, man. I cannot, I can't do it. It's simple to him because he's a genius at it. It's like, come on in front of the camera and let's see what you can do, and if you do it really well, then I'll try to do this piano thing. And it was, I was petrified. It was one of the scariest moments for me, was trying to pretend like I can play, like the guys that fake trumpet or any kind of brass instrument, that's amazing to me, because there's no way I would ever be able to do that.
Stuff.
There's no way I
Piano's
would.
probably the hardest too.
Yeah, as long as they're not showing you doing it at the same time. Like, they just showed my upper body, and I was just concerned about, am I on the low keys or the high keys, so my body would sway in the right direction, and they ended up getting a guy.
To actually do the finger
To
part?
do the guy who was teaching me. They used his fingers, because there's no way that I'm not
Obviously,
that kind
obviously
of
you
guy.
sold it because he's asking the question.
Well,
you got me
did-
going.
The editing
good.
sold it, yeah. They edited the hell out
I
of
gotta
it.
watch this. Your focus with your fingers would be all like, all right, let's see. Oh,
No,
that's what I
no,
missed.
no, not me.
Very cool. Well, one thing I also want to ask, I know both of you have done voice acting before, of course, with the Batman and Justice League. Now, one thing I always wanted to ask any voice actors, because I'm learning myself to change accents and things like that, what is your button that you use to get into that character? So that one thing that button in your mind to change that voice, to become that character. What is there like a certain phrase, like with me, if I have to do an Irish accent, I have to say?
I haven't really done any other accents. It's just my voice.
It's
You know,
your
using
voice,
my
right?
voice for Gordon. It's just my voice. I think I did a video game called Dakon, or I can't remember what it's called, but I should remember.
Yeah.
Did that kind of stuff, and so I didn't have to look for any kind of. But as far as doing accents, that's I've got a pretty good ear. I just recently did a play where I had to use an English accent, and they tried teaching us how to do it through these different methods, and I said, no, just let me do it, because that's going to screw me all up, man, if I try figuring out what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah. Me, I'm the same way. I'm not really good at. The only thing I can do is go a little deeper or take a little bass out. But I can't. I'm not good. I don't try English accents or Jamaican. As a matter of fact, sometimes when people will offer me a job or ask if it's an accent, I say, listen, you don't want me fucking up your project, so nah, I'm not gonna do that to you. Yeah, I'm just not good at it. I don't have the ear, and so when it comes to voiceover stuff, I'll use my voice, and literally I'll put a little bit more bass on it, or be a little more gruff, more so the attitude than trying to put any kind of accent on it. And there are people that are phenomenal at that, and I think they should be hired as opposed to me.
I mean, I like doing like different character accents. I like doing that type of stuff. I just haven't had nobody's offered me that job yet. But it's just doing the voiceover stuff. Just as an actor, it's different in that you're not looking at a person talking to them. You're looking at a mic.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have the group of people in the room, and you can play off of them, but they're usually standing at another. It's not as natural as it is. The unnaturalness of acting in front of a camera is.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Not it.
But you just as in normal acting in front of a camera, you just try to mentally visualize and put yourself into whatever the situation that this character is in to bring as much reality and make it as organic as you possibly can.
Very cool. Appreciate it.
Oh, no, please.
When it comes to your roles, I mean, you guys have gone up here, down here. I mean, you guys selected. What is your?
I know.
Well, when you play,
Did you see that movie?
yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
did. I mean, when you play, like
I carried that one.
like when you're in Sons of Anarchy, you're playing the bad guys, or you're playing the good guys, whether But what are your favorite roles to play?
It varies. It's like I go through periods where I love playing bad guys. Then it kind of starts wearing thin. And it's like, man, I'd love to play. So that's why it was great. Going from up to the point where I played Skinner, everything was bad. Everything was at the beginning of our careers, we were like thug number one, thug number two, or heavy number one, heavy number two. I just watched or saw something on an A-Team episode that I did, and I think the characters I think he actually had a name, Paul Winkle. But they referred to him as Bullet Head because my head was shaved then too. So, so it's fun to be able to go back and forth, and it was a treat to be able to go into playing Skinner as somebody who started out as possibly an enemy to Mulder and Scully, and then eventually became their champion.
Okay.
So it was nice to be able to make that transition.
Okay.
And then I wanted to go back and play bad guys again.
Yeah.
Like when I started doing Dallas, the first day on set, I walked up to Larry Hagman, and I had worked with him before in the original Dallas, and of course it was a long time ago, and he didn't remember me. But I said, he said, "Now who you playing?" And I told him, and he said, "Oh, That's a good character. And then he goes, playing bad guys is the best, isn't it? And I said, yes, sir, it is.
It really is, I think, yeah. My favorite is always like, what's coming up, the next thing.
Okay.
Because you get to just work with new people. I mean, I'm sure we can't do a project where we haven't worked with somebody. But there will always be somebody that you haven't worked with, and I like that. I like that a lot. For me, it's one of the great things about being in this business is that you go to different places, you meet different people, you're playing different characters, and to think that 30 plus years you're still doing it and you're still out there.
How lucky are we?
It's like
man?
amazing.
Like,
I mean, that's success right there. The idea that we haven't done anything else. Like I've never been a waiter or whatever other actors do that in between the downtime, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Very fortunate.
Yeah, and so it's always exciting what's coming up. Who you gonna be?
You're
who
right,
you gonna
man.
work
Going to a
with,
set, and I just worked with Lawrence Fishburne recently, and I was like, he walked in, he directed me, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I mean, and he's like, to me, he's like one of the coolest cats.
My man, he's
alive.
cool. Yeah, I've done two films with him.
Yeah, I mean, he just
Awesome.
epitomizes the word cool.
Yeah,
and
great
so
guy.
it was such a treat.
Was that a film?
He
or-
didn't want us to talk about it, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
all I can say.
All right.
All I can say is that I worked with him. I think that may have been too much in
Great
itself,
guy,
but
yeah.
he is a wonderful person. But just, I mean, like Michael said, and that's one of the things that's cool about these things, is we get to, I get to see him, and I get to see other people that I've worked with in the past, and I also get to fanboy. I get to meet, guys that I've actors that I've never met before, that I've always wanted to meet. So it's that's one of the real bonuses of doing this.
really
And you get
is.
to meet a lot of nice people, which are the fans, of course.
Speaking of a fanboy, fangirl, any chance we're going to see Sam Shepard again in Supernatural?
Samuel Campbell.
Yes.
I
Sam
probably.
Shepard. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I'll play Sam.
I don't know where I got
Slap
that
some
from.
hair on my head.
Pulled that out from
Lives
somewhere. I
about 80
have no
pounds,
idea.
I don't know. I would love to go back and work with the guys, but I don't know. That character's been killed so many times.
Everybody dies in Supernatural.
But everybody
They come back
does,
somehow.
yeah, but it's working with family, and then working with Jared and Jensen and Misha. They're all just like some of the nicest people and most genuine people that I've ever had the opportunity of working with, other than Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I saved myself.
Watch the table.
But it's so I'd love to go back, but to be decided.
Bless you.
You had mentioned that you had recently watched an episode of A-Team that you were on there. Was it because you were binging?
No,
Or
actually,
did you
I didn't watch it. I just saw some pictures that
Oh,
somebody
okay.
posted from it, and it reminded me of and David Hemmings. I don't know if you remember the brilliant actor, English actor David Hemmings. He directed that episode, so that was, and then I got to work with him later on
Okay.
as an actor. So that was quite a treat for me.
Do you guys go back and watch your stuff? Or are you that, I don't want to see it, I'm moving on?
No, there's actually only one thing that I really, there's an episode I did of Criminal Minds that I was very, very proud of my performance in, and I'm not a big fan of my own work, and as I think a lot of us are, we uncomfortable watching ourselves,
Yeah.
and I mean if it's good, I can watch it, but I don't know, I don't think it's always good, but
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
we're very critical,
Okay.
but there's an episode of Criminal Minds that it's probably some of the best work that I've ever done, and I'm very proud of it. So and my daughter loves that episode, so she cries every time we watch it, and I like to make her cry.
That's what dads do, right?
Right?
we do.
That's what we do. Whether they like it or not.
Yes, exactly.
Michael, just really quick as a fun one. I noticed that you did at least an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. What is your favorite Chuck Norris joke? I have to ask.
Oh my God, I don't know. Chuck never gets hit. That's all I know. When we did, we did the show. I played an illegal fight guy, and we like Spartacus. We had the X's on our, I think it was season 2, I think, and I remember when I got to set, the Clarence Gillier, I think his name is Clarence. Yeah. He when he met me and he goes, "Oh my God," and he said. And he said, "Wow, great! Thank you for coming." He goes, "I can't believe you're doing this show." And I was like, "This is his own show." And I was like, "No, I was a martial artist for a long time, and I loved it." And so I just thought that was so funny for a guy on the show to say to a guest star, but. I just I don't know. I was supposed to actually fight Chuck at the end.
Yeah.
But then they they did some rewriting and blah blah blah, and I ended up fighting Clarence instead. But I know on that show Chuck never gets hit, so I thought, oh, I'm just gonna get my ass whipped. I'm the champion of this illegal thing. I beat everybody else, and then I fight Chuck, and I won't be able to get one hit on him.
No.
I thought that was kind of funny, but they just said, fuck it, we're just gonna change it completely, and you're not even gonna fight him. So I don't know my favorite Chuck Norris joke. I have no idea. I loved when Bruce Lee kicked his ass.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. He was a nice guy, though. I'm not.
Did you hear him say anything? Because I did an episode of Walker Texas Ranger too, and I got my ass kicked by him too.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I heard him say a word though. He was very shy. I think
He's
and very
just a
reserved.
couple of things. I think his brother did most of the
Norris or
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
He did most of it. But yeah, he wasn't a very talkative guy.
Yeah.
Not an unpleasant guy, just not a like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.